was like the last of the fighters or sports stars who built their popularity without social media. I mean, I don't even know how you do that these days. And the reason that Riicky Hatton built his popularity was because of the cleanliness of his heart and the time that he gave others. And probably when he needed to help himself, all he was ever concerned about was helping others. And he was the most selfless individual, funniest individual, you could ever be around. And there's a lot of people around here today who are walking around with a heavy heart because he made you feel like he was like your best mate, and we all knew him. Some knew him a lot better than others, but Riicky Hatton's memory should live on. And our thoughts, particularly with Campbell Hatton, we represent his son, Matthew, his brother, and the entire Hatton family. It's a tragic loss, and he will be greatly missed.
Paving attack to Robert Smith as well.
Unbelievable.
What do you make of that?
Listen, I'll tell you something now. The British Boxing Board of Control, for me, are one of the best commissions in the world. They have a horrendous job dealing with me, dealing with other promoters, dealing with their members, and Robert Smith is 1,000,000% fair every time and all about the best interest of boxing. What he has done up there is he's called Robert Smith a scumbag. He has said that they've basically tried to just jeopardise his fight, allowed Conor Benn to use gloves that can... It's not up to Robert Smith about what he's got in his contract with Seller. It's up to Robert Smith to approve a set of gloves that are approved by the British Boxing Board of Control, which are those gloves. I mean, we were stopped from coming in the stadium. I'm listening to it going, I can't actually believe what I'm hearing. And I liked it because not everyone will get it, but I believe a lot of people are listening to that. I mean, I wanted to speak about specific things up there, and I hoped once I told him what I wanted to speak about, he would at least let me do that. He didn't have the decency to even let me do that. He ain't a nice kid, as far as I'm concerned.
Would that lead to
of course. I mean, I'm not the ball, but you can't say things like that. And it's not even about, no, I'm speaking my truth. It's lies. That's the difference. I don't care. If I really went up to a paramedic, right, and the British Boxing Board of Control and went, mate, I know you've got to take him to hospital, but hang on 20 minutes so they're late. For fuck's sake. I mean, unless you've got no brain, you might be listening to that going, I can't believe Eddie Hearn's done that. And that's why I gave him the opportunity to say it again. Because I couldn't believe what I was actually hearing. And he says, oh, what are you going to do, sue me? Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Because you ain't accusing me and my company of things like that. Because I haven't worked, and my dad hasn't worked his whole life with a reputation in the sport that, by the way, for some reason you seem to think doesn't exist. For you to make up lies about our company, and that will be dealt with.
So Eddie, are you going to sue him? Words about Riicky Hatton as well up there. I mean, just some words.
I just wanted to look. I just feel like everybody should be talking about Riicky Hatton. Conor was up there today, wearing the shirt. This is a guy that was so important to British boxing, but this was also a guy that was one of the great characters and personalities of our industry, right? And I believe that we should all be talking about how great Riicky Hatton was. He should be remembered forever. And ultimately, like I said, he was a guy that was built pre-social media. Imagine building that fan base from nothing. And how do you build that fan base? Because of the type of individual that you are. And there wasn't anyone that didn't feel sick to their stomachs on Sunday with the news. And I hope that he can be remembered forever. And may God bless Campbell and Matthew and the entire family, who can only imagine how they're feeling right now. So,
Eddie, what does it do to Conor Benn's career trajectory if he does lose again?
Look, I mean, you never want back-to-back defeats. Obviously, we know the future is at 147. We've got Lewis Crocker here. There's a shot at the world title. But losing is a disaster for Conor. Yeah, I can dress it up to you and say, it's up at middleweight, it doesn't really matter, now we go. But that's not what Conor Benn's about. You see a different Conor Benn in there today because all he's focused on is the performance and the fight and getting the victory on November 15th.
Ed, what do you know about Senior's whereabouts?
When you get an epic war like that, the rematch often is a little bit more dialed down historically. Do you think it will be more of a chess match?
I think maybe for the first couple of rounds, but Conor Benn's Conor Benn. But I want him just to be a little bit smarter. We can't, like Nigel said, he's just winging away. And the heart's great, the balls are great, but you can outbox this guy as well. You're going to have to stand and fight because he's going to try and walk you down and be the bigger man. But just be a little bit smart with it as well.
And what do you know about Senior's whereabouts?